morning. I am feeling fantastic today. Got a great night's sleep in that hotel room. Shower was fantastic this morning. Now back down here in the eating area for breakfast. Breakfast was buffet style, just like dinner. You can see some of the guys and gals up there right now getting it. Got myself a couple of blueberry muffins, a couple of sausage links, bacon, scrambled eggs, and haven't done it yet while I've been over here, even though I've had the opportunity. So decided to start with some beans this morning as well. They did have some cereals and some oatmeal as well, plus some bread that you could toast and some bagels. And I was just not feeling that this morning and got a couple apple juices to go along with all this. Off the bus, 45 or so minutes down the road. We're in Stratford-Upon-Avon, and we have stopped to see, Doug, what did you steal? We've stopped to see Anne Hathaway's cottage. We've got to wait for it to open. It opens at 10. You can see it's 9:54, so we got about 6 more minutes. And then we'll head into the grounds. We finally... They're what trees?
They're fruit trees.
Fruit trees.
They have seed?
Yep. Making our way through to get to Anne Hathaway's cottage. For those of you who may not be familiar with Anne Hathaway, no, I'm not talking about the actress. I'm talking about Shakespeare's wife. It said, "Welcome to Anne Hathaway's cottage, where every changing season sheds new light on 500 years of history." So you've got the gardens out here, all these pretty roses, and then of course the cottage that we'll be making our way to here in just a second. Oh, look, a wheelbarrow. Growing carrots and turnips, leeks.
Anne Hathaway's cottage from the 1800s. Before that, it was called Hewland's Farm. And this building was first a building on this site in 1463. It was a medieval hall house at that point. And the Hathaways came here in 1542. They came as sheep farmers, they were tenant farmers, and it was quite a big farm for the time. It was 90 acres. So Anne was born here in 1556, and she was here until she was 26. At that point, she met and married William Shakespeare. Now, she was the average age to get married. She was 26. Women had to learn how to look after a household, look after a family. William, however, was only 18. So if you think about it, he's a bit of a toy boy for her, really. However, he wasn't a very good prospect because he was only 18. He didn't have a trade, he wasn't an apprentice. Most men in Tudor times would have been an apprentice from between 7 and 12 years, so they wouldn't have got married until their late 20s, early 30s. They would also have to do a bit of work to get enough money to be able to support a family. Now, William couldn't do any of that, so he ended up having to take her back to Stratford. She was already pregnant, she was 3 months pregnant when they got married, to his family home. They looked after her, and Susanna was born 6 months later. They went on to have a further 2 children. They were twins, Hamnet and Judith. And after they'd had the twins was when William went down to seek his fame and fortune down in London. His heart was obviously back here with Anne and in Stratford, because he only ever rented in Silver Street down in London. He never bought any property. He was sending all his money back here. Eventually, he had enough money to be able to buy the largest house in the town at the time. It was called New Place. It's still, you can still visit it, although the building was demolished in the 1800s. So that was the largest house. It was just proof that he'd actually made it. He installed Anne there, and he eventually retired there and lived out his life with Anne until his death. Now back here, we've got Anne's brother who'd taken over the farm. He was very prosperous as a farmer, and in 1610, he'd earned enough money to be able to buy the farm complete. He did what lots of people do when they buy property. He decided to extend it. He had a family of at least 9 people at that time, and there were other maids and servants as well. So it was all of them living in those 3 rooms. The 3 rooms consisted of a hall open to the thatch, and it was basically the lowest part of the thatch just before the brickwork. So they were living in there. What happened was there was a little parlour on the end that was demolished, and this big 2-storey extension was put on by Bartholomew. He also added another storey onto the original house, so we've got upper chambers here as well. Now it stayed like that until his great-grandson John Hathaway took over. In 1697 he added a little bit more of an extension, 2 more rooms, fireplaces, improved the chimneys. In fact, if you look upon that chimney you can see IH. That's for John Hathaway, 1697, which is when he started his improvements. So they were very prosperous until the 1700s. The wool trade was a really good trade to be in. However, it did start to decline, maybe because we were getting cheaper imports in from the continent, and then by the 1800s from the US as well. We were getting cheap cotton coming in. So wool fell out of fashion, and they started to lose their money. They became very poor, and by 1838 they had to sell the farm. So this is subsequent generations, and they were getting poorer and poorer. They were having to sell parcels of land to pay their debts. As I say, in 1838 all that was left was the house and 1 bit of land that it was standing on. So they sold that to a local farmer. He promptly split the house into 3, allowed the Hathaways to stay in the centre, but they were tenants paying rent again, and put a family that end and a family this end. So he was basically capitalising, getting as much money from it as he could. Now it was like that until the very last family of Hathaways were here. That was Mary Hathaway Baker. You're going to see pictures of her as you go into the parlour, and her son. So we had 13 generations of Hathaways living here from 1542 all the way through to 1911, when William, Mary's son, left. Now he went to live with his family in Stratford. Presumably he was fed up of living in a house that had no amenities whatsoever. That lady there is actually standing on what is the well. So that's the only source of water for coming in. Mary was here until her late 80s. She died in 1899. She was still bringing in water from that well, sleeping in the beds upstairs. So the Birthplace Trust got involved in 1892 when the house came on the market again. They allowed Mary to stay here. She'd already started running little tours. They were very popular, all about Shakespeare. So she carried on doing that for the Birthplace Trust. This time they allowed her to stay rent-free, and because she was looking after the place, they also paid her a salary of £75 a year. So quite a lot of money. She then proceeded to sell all the family furniture to the Birthplace Trust, which is why you'll see the Hathaway beds and a lot more of the original furniture still in place here. So as I say, we've got an unbroken line of Hathaways, and then it became much more like you see it today, people walking around. So unfortunately, when Mary died, she died when she fell down the steps and broke her hip. So it's my duty to say, when you walk around, please be very careful. We don't want anybody else falling down the stairs. The doorways are really low when you go inside, so just be careful of your head, especially upstairs. If you're over 5'2", you haven't got a chance without ducking. So you're quite welcome to take photos in there, but no filming or no flash, please. That would be lovely. So I'm just going to pass the first half of you, because it is very small in there. You want to be able to see everything in there.
I made those curtains.
You did? Really?
Yeah.
In 1800?
butter Shakespeare 8.
The washroom. Dude,
Might lose a head.
I already bumped my head on the stairs on the way up.
Oh dear.
Little game here, y'all.
Come on, Powell. I'm trying to take a picture of the wall.
Sorry, you didn't tell me to move.
I just did.
Hold on.
It says smoke would fill this place.
And preserve the meat.
Those sweet pants.
Sweet pants for sale?
Yeah.
Sweet. You have to say it like that. You have to say sweet pants. Look at those sweet pants. Sweet pants. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Here's the back of the house.
Yep. Teacher by day, vlogger by night.
Because you know they've got to have one here. Outside, walking the gardens now. You can see I tried to give you a little taste, a little flavor of the inside of the house. Seeing as how I wasn't supposed to film. But, you know, did my best to bring you guys along with me where I could. This garden's just like a giant circle. Okay, we drove about 10 minutes into town center of Stratford-Upon-Avon, and you got this restaurant here called the Boston Tea Party. That has to be American owned, right? If you were British, I don't think you'd open a restaurant called the Boston Tea Party. Right? Or is that just me? I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of artisans today.
We might have to check out the Boston Tea.
We're gonna head into the Shakespeare Center, where they said I can't film, so we'll see. Replicas of Tudor tableware.
So each one of these represents his right hand. Julius Caesar. Yeah, right here.
Yes.
Y'all, I can't. I absolutely can't. Look. They turned the Avengers movies into a Shakespearean play. And this is the same thing for Star Wars A New Hope. They turned it into a Shakespearean play. My gosh. There's a statue of the man himself. Slick Willie. William Shakespeare, a gift from the Bird family. Oh, fairly new, 2022. Right here in the middle of the street. No, there's a Subway. I feel like I have to, right? The House of Spells. Wonder if it's just Harry Potter related, or if it's, I think it's probably just Harry Potter related. Pretty disappointed in that store, if I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping it would be like medieval and stones and gems and stuff like that, but no, it was all Harry Potter with some Lord of the Rings and Stranger Things type stuff in there as well. So not my cup of tea. Let me rephrase. Harry Potter is very much my cup of tea, but it wasn't what I was expecting. You know, it's nothing that I couldn't get over in the States somewhere. So don't want to sit here and act like I'm not a fan of Potter, because I'm a very, very, very huge fan of the books and the series. I was just hoping for something more in line with the theme of where we are, and I'm not seeing really anything like that, sadly. Okay, I did find a genuine crystal shop just called Crystals, and you know, I don't know much about these crystals and geodes and things like that. It's not something that I've really gone head on into. It is something that's always fascinated me. So let's see here. It's got by zodiac sign information up here. So for yours truly, being a Gemini, be a Chrysocolla and Apophyte. And by month, pearl or shell. These are really, really neat. Old Douglas and I sitting for a spell inside the Boston Tea Party. Figured we had to give it a try here. I'll show you what we got. I can't show you the menu because it's one of those you order online with the QR code. So if you're curious about what the menu is, feel free to go ahead and take a screenshot of the QR code there, and you can see everything that they've got to offer here. But it's a good bit. We have lunch provided for us today in about an hour and 20, so I didn't get too much, but you never know how lunch is going to be, so wanted to actually eat something we felt like we'd enjoy. Always up for trying new things, especially new beverages. So got this Boston pressed cloudy apple crisp drink, and that's what I've got poured here. Have a Coke Zero. Probably just going to take the Coke Zero with me for later because you can't find it anywhere in England. It's so hard to find for whatever reason. This is like Pepsi country. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. Douglas got some Eggs Benedict. Super fitting because we're eating at the Boston Tea Party. Trader for a trader. And then I just got their 6 homemade hash browns with a couple of dips. This is a spicy Korean ketchup, and then this was like a garlic Parmesan type dip. Let me just say, I am so glad that I got this. Both of these were extremely good. I think I have to go a little more in favor of the Korean spicy ketchup, but the flavors of these, wow. And then the hash browns, they weren't salty at all. They were thicker hash browns, very, very good. Doug ate all his Eggs Benedict. He did let me have a bite, and that was superb as well. I did end up going ahead and drinking both drinks just because I am thirsty, and it's nice to have a cold drink. The apple press was good. It was crisp. It was tart. And then it was just nice to have a cold Coke Zero since it's been a few days since I've been able to have a cold one. Got a Peter Rabbit specialist store here with a place for you to get your photo taken as Peter. I already did that. Oh, look, we've got King Charles. King Charles III, 40 tea bags of New English teas. And then pizza toys and plushies. We've reached our destination for lunch today. Cafe Rouge. Still here in Stratford-Upon-Avon. A fantastic surprise for lunch today. We came here, we thought we were getting sausage and mash, but no, we got chicken and chips. And chicken looks fantastic too. It was still alive not too long ago. And dessert is served. Oh, apple pie a la mode. After roughly a 3-hour drive from Stratford-on-Avon, we are in Croydon, sorry Dresden, and we are here at our dinner location tonight, which is the BoxPark, which is a fairly new venue here in East Croydon, London. We'll show you around. It's got tons of places to eat and drink. It's got pubs, it's got bars. It even has a place to get your hair cut here. And if it's open, yours truly might actually check that experience out, because I could stand to have a haircut. All right, I can't tell you how utterly disappointed I am, because this is where I was gonna eat tonight and was so excited because I was looking forward to wings, not to mention all of the puns and DJ Khaled references, like the all I do is wing combo and things along those. I was just going to be in there singing and making all the puns, and now I got to find something else. Now, what would be Ty's favorite place to eat? Love churros. All different kinds of churros to get. All right, this is going to be the spot. Instead, going to eat here at the Argentinian Grill. It's got Argentinian meat. Show it to you guys. Salad, sandwiches from the grill, burger, chicken, sides down here, ribs, and drinks. Got my pager, waiting for my food, and just wanted to show you we've got a live DJ and soundstage, so this place really turns up in the evening. You know, you can see it's somewhat crowded right now because we are in the dinner time hours. But it's going to get really crowded, I would think, probably after 8 o'clock. Because that is when all the youngins have to leave. So we will be out of here. All right, I walked upstairs here at BoxPark while my food is still being cooked, just to mainly show the kids, because they are all spread out down here. Just thought that I'd get the group in a picture here. So we've got some right here, a lot occupying that middle table, at the end of this table, that table, and all the way over there as well. You see a couple more restaurants across the way. They've got axe throwing behind me. All right. This is what we're dealing with, folks. Got a little buffalo chicken wing action here. Got some barbecue ribs, some fries underneath that, and then they gave me barbecue sauce to put on my ribs, so I guess I can make them as saucy as I want. Really looking forward to this. All right, you can see the boys found the pool table here, so they'll be having fun and occupied for a little bit. After eating, I went over to the I Love Churros place, and even though I'm not a huge churro person like Ty, I got myself a Biscoff milkshake, and it is fantastic. Also picked myself up a bottle of Coke Zero since they're hard to find. You're wondering about the meal, the ribs, not good. The chicken wings, absolutely fantastic. So definitely would get those again. In case you're wondering, that milkshake was way too decadent, so I could not finish it all. Just had to throw it away with probably about half left. And now we've made our way to the hotel, so let me take you around my final hotel room of this trip. So here we go. This is room 222 of the Hilton Croydon, London. Got my thermostat again, which is super nice. We've got a nice storage area here with some hangers and an ironing board and iron. Got a safe, and a hair dryer. Of course, got things for tea, a drawer. We have a drink cooler. This will be a first for the trip. Might put my Coke Zero in there in just a second. Trash can, got my shoes kicked off because I'm comfy. Hey everybody, long day again. Flat screen mounted here with a nice little seating area. Another comfortable seating area here that I've got my suitcase on. Table and chair. Got a lamp in the corner. Piece of artwork. I believe this probably pulls out into a little sofa bed. Nice, big, king-size bed. This is the biggest bed of the trip, by far. Got a telephone. Got lights on both sides, as well as the neat little reading lights for your bedside if you wanted those little ones on. I like the headboard a lot here. And what pleases me the most, you have your outlets, and you have your USBs, and there is another one on the other side of the bed as well. So tons of places to charge your equipment, unlike the last hotel. Let's take a look at our view, because I haven't even looked. Oh, we've got a nice view of the roof of the hotel and the storage area of the back. So fun times. I won't be looking out the window anytime soon. We can just go ahead and close that up. And let me take you to the bathroom, which is a standard size again. Not super huge. Got one sink, got a full mirror, got towel rack here, towel rack there, got a commode, trash can underneath the counter, got a couple of things of tissues if need be, and shower tub combo here with Crabtree conditioner, shampoo, and shower gel. Crabtree and Evelyn is what it says. So I'll be using that over the next couple days, and so this will be pretty nice to end my journey here in London. Probably gonna call it a night fairly soon. May go down and meet up with the fellas downstairs for a little bit before we call it a complete night. But thank you again for coming along with me. Got one more full day here in London tomorrow, and then we will be off back home on Sunday, and I'll film a going home vlog for you guys as well. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you. Again, I know I forgot. I keep forgetting. Eddie the educator, y'all just saw me. He's been in my pocket all day long. He's made it this whole trip. Everywhere we've gone, there's Eddie. So Eddie's here. Eddie will go with me tomorrow. Hopefully I'll remember to pull him out and take pictures. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below, as it goes a long way to help our channel. If you got any questions or comments, hit us up underneath the video with that as well. And if you're new, welcome. We absolutely love having you here. We hope you'll stick around and think about becoming a subscriber, because we're hoping to get to 500 by the end of 2023. So we'd love to have you help us do that. Until next time, what's your why?